Last season, they had 55 points. Good enough for worst in their well over 100-year existence. And it was a great time to launch Game Over Montreal.
Poor Berkshire.
If the Montreal Canadiens improved by 20 points, guys, it would be good enough for only 7th in the division based on last year's points. So let's have a look at what the odds makers have them at.
72.5 points.
That's
the over.
17.5 point swing.
Over. I still have them over.
Wow.
I still have them over.
Okay.
They weren't a last place team last year, and they won't be this year.
Is it likely that the Canadiens improve by 20 points this year and still finish with a top 5 pick?
Yeah.
Is that how as bad they've been now?
Montreal Canadiens fans rejoice. This is the perfect season to get to have your cake and eat it too.
Have your cake. Come on, Steve. Have
your cake. Yeah.
Oh,
that's good. Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, well done.
That's why you pay me the big bucks.
Who pays you?
What if I just bought a cake on the way home and ate it?
You could.
You're an adult.
Didn't tell my wife. Yeah, I'm an adult, but also there's something a little bit like I should be on a watch list for that.
No, we're talking about Montreal Canadiens now.
Anyway.
Let's not go down this.
So, all the young players you get to watch and hope that they'll be better, and they will be. You still get to go for Connor Bedard. You get to watch young rookie and Jaroslav Koski. Jack-Eye is going to be very interesting should he make the team. And again, you still get to wish for Connor Bedard, and it won't be as nauseating as last year because they'll have players. Like, they won't be calling up guys from the AHL. You're not going to have who behind the bench, Adam?
Tom Ducharme.
You're going to have Martin St. Louis for a full season. You're going to have a full season of young apprentice, Sensei and Grasshopper relationship, Martin St. Louis with Cole Caulfield. They're going to be so much better and still really bad.
Suzuki is the new captain. Caulfield actually being allowed to play. We saw what happened last year. He started scoring again. Is this the season we find out whether these guys are true A-plus quality talents? Like, there is very good, and then there's great. We need to find out.
I think they got more time. Like, I don't think if they underperform this season, they still have more years to come, because I think the expectations in Montreal are, hey, this is still a developmental season. Mm-hmm. And even like a lot of people talk about St. Louis and the effect that he had on last year. If you look at the record, Montreal played at a 71-point pace under Martin St. Louis. That's not very good. Like, they were just so bad at the beginning half that a 71-point pace looked unbelievable on paper when he was the head coach, but they weren't good at any point last season. So I think if they're still not very good and just do a little developmental year, all these guys get another shot the following year.
I still say they're going to be so much better. So, so they ended with what, 55, you said?
Yeah.
And he played at a 70. What the hell were they under Ducharme?
Exactly. That's how bad they were in that beginning little portion of the season.
Like 40 points?
They barely had any wins. Adam mentioned Game Over Montreal. He had like 2 wins by December. Yeah. I forget the record. I should bring it up. But
adding to the list of just all the things that went wrong, they were so thin in net that they were playing Sam Montembeault while injured.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it would be truly world-beating for them to be worse than last year or even close to as bad as last year. I still think they're going to be last in the division. But last year was their nightmare year.
Yeah.
And I think there's extra motivation for things to not return to that.
Big question mark for me is Kirby Dach.
Mm-hmm. A huge question mark.
Does he live up to what he was supposed to be when Chicago drafted him? Because Kirby Dach, DeBrincat, and a few other of those players that Chicago has mysteriously just jettisoned, Hagel, as their next crop, because that was supposed to be their next crop.
Yeah.
Never really panned out there.
All to the Atlantic Division. Friggin' knock it off, Chicago. That's enough.
Yeah, seriously. So Kirby Dach, what do you expect from him? What's a good season from him?
Good season is he establishes himself as an everyday center who doesn't get put on a poster by Cale Makar, who puts up at least 40 points. I think that's a nice low bar, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
for the amount of money he makes, that extension he just signed. Montreal did pay assets to get him. He's the perfect fit for that team, and he's going to be joining a team full of young forwards. And, we were talking about him when the deal happened, like he was going to be given all the opportunity in the world. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Montreal's got enough guys that he's got to earn his place, and he'll find himself down the lineup and potentially as a healthy scratch if it's not.
Right.
Contract or not.
That would be a bit of a disaster for Montreal. I don't expect that.
That would be a disaster. So he's got to establish himself as an everyday forward in the NHL, everyday center in the NHL, and I think 40 points is more than reasonable.
Mike Hoffman had a bit of an off year. I mean, the whole team did. But him getting back to the 25, 30 goal form that he's used to will really help, right?
He needs players to play with, and Montreal didn't have that, and he needs people to pass him the puck. And
he needs a system to play in.
I mean, Martin St. Louis knows how to coach goal scorers. I think we saw that with Cole Caulfield. Mike Hoffman is a goal scorer. He'll, if anything, he'll know how to teach the guys how to get him the puck. I think Montreal's problem is going to be keeping the puck out of the net.
Yeah, the defense is suspect.
They're going to score a lot more goals this year. Keeping the puck out of the net is, I think, going to be a problem.
Here's the top 6 according to Daily Faceoff. Anyway, Mike Matheson, David Savard, Joel Edmondson, Justin Barron, Jordan Harris, and Chris Weidman.
Tell me Jordan Harris is a real person.
He sounds like a real guy. I feel like I could have gone to high school with him.
Is he a draft pick of theirs?
Don't know.
Barron, I think I remember.
Justin Barron, I've heard of.
And Montreal Canadiens fans, please forgive us for not knowing every single player. How many players played for them last year? 60?
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It's a lot to keep track of. He's played 10 career games. He's 22. So we don't know what he is yet.
Right.
I want to say it was at the end of last season. And I don't know. You can't put too much into those garbage time games.
Yeah. You don't know.
You just don't know.
Jake Allen signs the extension, and as they said, he's planting the flower that he won't be around to see bloom. I think is that what they said?
The tree.
The tree to sit under that you won't be around to sit under.
Right.
Under the shade.
And so it's nice to have him around. It's nice to have Montembeault Ball because you sort of know what you're going to get. I think that the goaltending's okay. Right? It's okay.
Better than last year. Stop throwing Caden Primo to the Wolves.
And you're not thinking about Carey Price anymore. That was the whole question last year. Is he coming back or is he not?
And then he did, and it was fun, and now he's not.
Yeah.
And that's less fun. But yeah, it seems like Montreal is preparing for life after Carey Price.
As though the era.
Yeah, they gotta unfortunately move on from this guy. And if he comes back, wonderful. Wonderful. The hockey world will rejoice, but Montreal has to continue like that's not going to happen.
There's a player on this team who is frustrated and befuddled. He's great and he's not. He's got unbelievable dominant games and then he doesn't. And he's got all the skill and the talent to be to this team what Tom Wilson is in Washington.
That's interesting. I feel like this could be 3 guys.
Well, Josh Anderson is the one I'm talking about.
Oh, never mind. It could be 4.
Josh Anderson has size. He's got skill. He's got speed. He can absolutely devastate you. And for some reason, it feels like every other game, you don't know that Josh Anderson's there.
He's the best player on the ice once every 2 weeks.
And you go, there he is. That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's why they got him.
He has best player. He's best player on the ice or invisible. Those are the 2 gears.
And he has the skills to do it every night. Like some guys can really only do. He has the skills, the size, everything. Is this the year finally at 28 years old where Josh Anderson becomes the dominant force of a forechecking forward that they've always needed him to be?
I'd invest some stock in Josh Anderson this year because, again, I think they're going to score more goals. They have the depth up front. I don't think he can be the guy.
Okay.
He needs guys. And the Montreal Canadiens will, at very least, provide that. He'll have lots of guys in front of him.
They'll be high flying. His career high is 47 points.
I think he's going to get a lot on the power play.
Seems to be.
Year.
Yeah, I think
Montreal's
so too.
power play is going to be good.
Okay, so let's break it down, guys. Where do you have them in the division?
Listen, I've done my best to sing their praises this whole video. 8th.
Why?
They're still not great.
Okay, Jesse.
I really like their top 6. They have a good little
on forward.
top 9 really. Their forward group. I like the top 9. I like their first 3 lines. There's just not enough in net and not enough on defense to outpoint the Ottawa Senators. So I have them in 7th.
Barely mentioned him, but Drouin is a guy that I'm keeping an eye on this year just because I want to see what he can do too, because I think that if he returns to form, that could be very interesting for them. I still have them in 8th place.
Very underrated, and I just want to get him out there because we haven't mentioned him yet. I really wonder what Sean Monahan has left.
Oh, yeah.
That's a part of that top 9. That's very good.